Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Beginners Playlist. Today we're going to be starting actually Reel 2. And Reel 2 is going to be fun things. So like for example today, it's all hints and tips. Best videos with best hints and tips. Then we're going to talk about granulated paint, which I've only recently paid attention to and discovered. And if you're into landscape, I think you're going to like next week. And then color mixing and hard edges and soft edges, as well as some Christmas stuff. So come on, grab those brushes and paint and let's go figure this out together. So today is a short lesson because I want you to get right to those best easy videos. We're going to start though with some tips that I've learned that you won't see in the videos. And some of them you've heard me before in previous episodes. And the first one is save your work. It's always nice to look back so you can have a reference point to see where you were and where you are now. So this was one of the first flower collages I made. Here's my rose. Good, bad, and ugly. You see it all from me. And then here's currently the one I'm working on. It's a work in progress. But comparing rose to rose, I like this one better. But it's fun to look back and see this and go, holy smokes. And it looked good at the time. It looked good at the time. One of the other tips that's on there in a different place is how it talks about, though, while I have this up, it talks about always work from light to dark. So this is a work in progress. And as you can see, what I did first was make just a super pale pink on all the flowers. And then I came in with slightly darker and then a third coat of slightly darker. And what I'm working on now is the leaves. And as you can tell, I did the same thing. So they're super light green. And I started up here adding more layers to it to give it some more color. So again, you can always go darker. You can't go lighter. So start with your light and go to dark. One of the other tips, and we've talked about this one before as well, is always keep your tube of white gouache handy. I keep it right to the right here. My thing is good for correcting errors. It's good for adding white highlights. White gouache, keep it on hand. Next is the small paper towels, and we all have, I always have a paper towel to have in my hand to wipe my brush on and stuff. But these little cut-up pieces here are actually very handy when you need to just blot a small thing, when you need to scrunch it up and make clouds. I just keep the bowl full. I go through them a lot. Next is chip clips. What do I use chip clips for, you ask? Well, let's say I want to do this page in my book. It's going to be a problem. So chip clips work good. Just the weight adds to keep the book open where you want to keep it open. If you need more, put it further out. But I use them on my books to keep them open. The thing related to that I always use is I actually have we've talked about this before too, is I actually have a plate holder that I dug out from my basement. Again, it works great, upright to keep your books open to where you're painting. And the other thing is because I'm just on a small desk up here, when I'm not filming, I keep my palette in there on end so it doesn't take up space. So if you have, you don't need to buy one. You can look at thrift shops, but I find it very handy to have a book holder on there. Next tip is I use small plates for special projects. As you can tell, I got these at the thrift shop, like $1 each, and I have a set of square ones and round ones, a total of 6 of them. This reminds me of my abstract and blues and greens, so I kept it because I still like it. I've done some of the Zentangle with this particular palette. And if you remember the animals episode, this is the husky right here. A little bit of pink on the nose and the white gouache for some of the hairs and the black and the blue eyes. This is the husky palette. So they come in handy when you don't want to totally clean off your palette and start over. I have several small plates like this that I like to use. Next is tape down your work. Helps keep it from warping. As you can see, I have larger tape on here, and here's one with smaller tape, and I just use clipboards. They're handy. You can stack them on end next to you, whatever. The other thing about tape, remember, that we talked about is always pull it slowly at a 45-degree angle. And I have yet to have a problem removing it or pulling up any paper as long as I pull it slow and 45-degree angle. It comes off very clean, and this has been on there for a while. And I have noticed the longer it stays, the more likely it can be to tear your paper. But as long as you do it slow and at an angle, you shouldn't have a problem with it. And finally, last tip of the day, and you'll see others do this too, is I always keep a piece of scrap paper over here to test my colors on. And it's clean, I just changed it, but here was a previous one of mine. I'll flip both sides. Test your colors. So, you know, is it light enough? Is it dark enough? I just keep it there and always test my colors on it. The other thing I've found handy for scraps of paper, by the way, I have them in a napkin holder over here. Works great. I did not used to save these, but I learned the hard way. Is I was using it to make a straight line, and I don't know if it was my acrylic markers or one of my pens, but I did a black one, and then I moved it, and I went to draw, I don't know if it was another black or probably gold, and it picked up the paint on the edge of my ruler and messed it up. So these are very handy. I cut them off a lot because they're just not the right size, so I keep them all now. So I draw a line, get rid of it. Need another straight line, use another one, get rid of it. Very handy to have around just for straight lines, so using a ruler doesn't smear your work. And that's it. So let's get to the video list. Okay, so I have a I have a whole bunch here, and it was hard to narrow down for you. So I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I would recommend watching all of them. One of the things I want to talk about is the last one on the top that talks about 4 tracing hacks. So if you want to come back and zoom in on my desktop here again, what she recommends is she says, take your picture, turn it over, and she actually used a pencil, a graphite pencil. And I'm old, and I said, it's going to take me all day to use a graphite pencil. So I don't remember. These were not very much, $3.99, $4.99, something like that on Amazon. And they're graphite chalk stick, basically, but they're graphite. So all I did was go like this a lot, and it sure does it a whole lot faster than a pencil would. And so what you do then is you take it and lay it down on your block, because I can't put a block on my light pad. Put it down, and as you can see, there's pencil marks on here. I traced around the hedgehog. So if you zoom in here, I'm hoping you can see on here, you can see my lines for there's the strawberry, there's the ears of the hedgehog. It came out on here really nice. So it's gotten a little smeary since I just put that on there again, but that's one of her hints. And I liked it because I tend to use my light pad, and if I'm using a block, you can't use a block with a light pad. And the last one on your list is optional, and it's actually very good. The problem is it's about 3 hours long. So he even suggests you might want to break it up, you know, and watch the first. He puts 6 on a page. Do the first 6, come back another day, do the next. And I did it over 2 days. And I'd say it was worth doing. I learned a lot of things just from watching that. I don't use my fan brush much. You know, we talked about that with the husky and stuff. And he has you paint 3 pictures with a fan brush. And they're real pictures. They're not just grass lines. But he does show you how to do that too. So I would encourage you to watch Chris's video. Long again, but it's worth it. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. You know, watercolor is one of those mediums that does get easier every time you pick up your brush. So keep practicing. I hope those little hints will help you get there sooner. So check for those video links down below, as well as don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, let's close with YaYa's Irish blessing. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May your heart be light, your colors bright, and may joy and peace fill you from the beauty that you create. Until next time, bye.